Hi, for those that don't know me, my name is Rob Procter. I'm Content Director here at SG Digital. Wanted to just start off here by really just showing or explaining to you how we're looking forward into next year and how we're looking positively into 2021. We've had a lot of change over the last 12 months, and it's really empowered us to get ready for next year and to get our content offering up to the mark and beyond again. Really building out scale, really building out our content roadmap and appealing to the masses in a way that we've never done before. We have a new structure in place, we have exciting new talent within the teams, whether it's via creative or math or within our own internal studios. We have a creative council that's now flourishing, it's blossoming, it's been on the run since February, the start of this year, and we've really homed that into a process that's working really well for us internally, generating new ideas, keeping up with trends, accelerating ahead of our competition in key markets and in key product areas. We have game retros, we're looking back, we're learning, we're storing information, and we're building content in a much cleverer way than we ever have done before. Again, accelerating ahead, not just through content, but through our ways of working, new teams in place, new structure, new process. Everything is really geared towards an absolute stellar 2021. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about our OpenGaming roadmap with a specific focus on content coming from our first party studios. As you can see here, we've got a real good mix of content for next year. We've got two big brands coming in Q1. We've got Cluedo and Monopoly. We have some of our big internal brands in Spartacus and Rainbow Riches also making an appearance in Q1. Other games on here is Blazing Hot 7, Stack 'em Up, a great game that's really focused towards those hardcore players who love the free reelers but maybe want something a little bit different. Similarly with Five Treasures, a build again on the Shuffle Master series, the Oriental themed games that we've seen so much success with over the years. 88 Fortunes, JJBX, Five Treasures, really strips that back and goes back to where it all began. Other games, Real Clash we have in Q1, which is a Mega Drop and a non-Mega Drop game. Both variants are available. Real push towards innovation with that game, and being able to offer both variants is a real positive. And we have a table game sneaking in Q1, which is great to see, and I Love Suits Poker, which is something we've been working on actually for a while, and it's gonna get the light of day in Q1. I'm really excited to see where that one goes. As we look into Q2, again, some real strong content, and we really do want to keep up the momentum as we go into Q2 next year. I think the Q1 roadmap really does and did show how effective we can be when we get the content mix right, and again, we want to go strong in Q2. We have our first Jackpot Wars game of the year going live in Secrets of Troy. Excited to see that one, Jackpot Wars again. Still in its infancy, but there's a long way to go with the product, and certain operators get behind it really well, and we're seeing some fantastic player engagement. We have two or three strong land-based games here. We've got Marvelous Mouse, Coin Combo, we've got Ultra Blazing Megalink, and we have Dancing Drums Explosion. All three games, absolute powerhouses. Marvelous Mouse Coin Combo is yet to see the light of day on the land-based side, but something we've been working very closely with our friends from the gaming side of the business to come to the party really early doors with this one. I know they're excited about it. I know the US and Canadian markets are ready to jump on this one, and we're not going to be far behind on digital. We have two Megaways games in Q2. We've got Perfect Potions Megaways and we have Invaders Megawiz. Both, again, very much playing on the strengths of Megaways, but also bringing something new to the party, showing some innovation and showing some tweaks in the mechanic that will really engage our players, and our key audiences, I think, will really get behind these games. We have Dr. Brainiac's Free Spins Frenzy, which is not easy to say, but great to play. That game is something that was from the minds of our internal studios, and really does bring something new to the table. We're talking about being bold and innovative. That game's got the lot. Blazing Sevens Roulette, again, another table game. Table game this quarter is a roulette variant. Again, very popular game in the offline world from the US. Something we've been wanting to bring online for a while. Easy to play, easy to understand, but a real buzz of excitement with the Blazing Sevens Super Bet really does add something to the player experience. First up, in January, we've got a game that I've played endlessly at the moment on demo play. I just love this game. It's looking fantastic. We've got Cluedo Cash Mystery, or Clue Cash Mystery, depending on where the game is launched from. This is a fantastic utilization of a brand. Okay, we came up with the idea for the game, and the brand just fit on the top so nicely, we couldn't ignore it. It's a multi-bonus game, akin to some of the other sort of industry stalwarts, and it was a real gap in our portfolio. You know, we've got 180 different bonus round combinations in this game, something that we didn't have in our library, and I think has been missing for some time. We know players engage well with games that have multi-bonuses. We know that they will go again and again and again to try and hit that top level bonus. Of the 180 bonuses, there is one that will take you to the promised land, and if you hit that bonus, then it's happy days, and that's the one that we want the players to really engage with and trying to hit. We've seen some really, again, innovative and at the same time known and proven mechanics within those free spins. We have persistent wilds, we have infinite spins, multiplying wilds, expanding wilds, and of course a book of style feature, which this game has in there as well. This game has an RTP of 96.5%, and the feature hit rate in it is 1 in 125 spins. Again, great use of the brand, fantastic front end. The way that the studios have brought this together just looks fantastic. The mood setting in the base game is great. The fog coming down, the trickling of the waterfall really helps set the scene, gives it that feel of a sort of murder mystery weekend type game. Really plays to the brand so well. Really looking forward to seeing how this one performs. Next up in January, we have Blazing Hot Sevens Stack 'em Up. Bit of a mouthful, so you might want to think about how that goes. Sits on your site in your tile. However, a great little game, this one, and again plays to the strengths of what we know from our UK market. Classic 3x3 slot. However, it has a cascading mechanic. So any wins in the base level will create a cascade, and anytime you see a stack 'em up symbol, the reels will expand, give you an extra set of reels on the top, and that can keep going. Consecutive wins in this game trigger the free spins, and the cascading reels and the extra reels build the chances for players to get those cascades, get those combination wins, and trigger the free spins. You can get up to a 12x multiplier in the free games, and the way this game looks at the moment is very much aligned to mobile. Not that it's detrimental for desktop, by the way. It still looks good on there and plays well, but when you load the game up and play on a device, this game really does start to come to life. We have the sort of old school sounds and bells going in, really helps create a buzz around the game. It's quick paced, it's fast, it's volatile, it's got an RTP of 96, just over 96, and the feature hit rate, again, relatively modest at 1 in 129 spins. But once you get into that bonus and that multiplier starts ticking up and the reels are unlocked, there's a real potential for some big wins in that bonus. And again, something that I think will appeal to not just our legacy free reel game players, but also the players who want to try something a little bit new with the potential to win big. Next up, we have Five Treasures. Five Treasures is a game that we've known and loved for a long time, and our partners in crime on the gaming side have seen a lot of success with this game over the years. Been a stalwart of their portfolio for some time, and you know, at the start of the year I was questioning why this hadn't already been done. We know we are, in my opinion, still the leaders in this space when we're looking at Oriental style games that bring land-based to online. We've got the edge. We know what we're doing. We know what works, what doesn't work, and this was an obvious choice. There'll be parts of this game that are very familiar with the players who play our Oriental games. Jackpots are awarded via the Foo Babies bonus picker, which we all know and love. The Foo Babies. Players can choose in this game from one of 6 different free spins. And in essence, the player there is a volatility picker when they hit the bonus. There's infinite re-triggers, expanding wilds, multiplier wilds, growing symbols, both directions pairs, persistent wilds, and a multiplier on all wins in the free spins. It's got a lot going on, The base game looks attractive, it looks great, sounds great, brings that Vegas feel back to the palm of the player's hand, which is always what we're trying to do with these types of games. RTP 96.3, and the feature hit rate in this game is just a shade over 1 in 105. So again, the way we've brought this game from the land-based world to the digital world is testament to the studios, and the creative heads done a fantastic job. Plays phenomenally well and will feel right at home with some of the favourites such as 88 Fortunes and JJBX, among others. Our first table game of the year is I Love Suits Poker. Again, very simple mechanic in this one. High flush wins. There's not a lot other than what you're seeing on the screen here. There's a side bet. The poker hands are as per normal, your standard sets of poker hands, and the flush rush bonus wager is an optional side bet for the player. And again, you can see here the payouts that you can get in there can be quite meaty. We know that there's a clamber for more poker games online. We are asked endlessly if we're going to bring out some new poker variants, and finally got round to doing the I Love Suits variant, which again has proved very popular in our offline world, and something that I think will resonate really well with not just your existing poker player base in terms of the players who play video poker today, but also bringing in a new element with the Super Flush Rush bonus can bring new players into a genre of games that they will potentially go on to enjoy. Coming up next, we have Spartacus Super Colossal Reels. This is a game that's had a lot of time and effort spent on it, and a lot of love from our studio out in Montreal. These guys have literally sweat, blood, and tears to get this game to where it is today. We did actually have this penned for release in 2020. And just the size and the scale and the magnitude of getting a Super Colossal Reels game from a big 8-foot high cabinet in Vegas onto an iPhone is challenging. So we've had more time to develop this and get it to the game that we actually really wanted it to be. And the guys have come up trumps again in terms of the visual front end of this game. Just looks and plays fantastic. The symmetry of the two reel sets is great. The way they bounce in and out and keep the player's attention is fantastic. There's a lot going on in the game, and it's important that we keep the player's attention in the right areas. This game's all about wilds. The wild transfer that we see happening most often. There's wild multipliers that can go up to 50x. There's the golden wilds, there's wild overlays, there's golden wild overlays, and the apple at the end of it all is the super wilds. That's what you really want to hit. Lining up wilds and top symbols, and the reel on the end, if you can line up your top symbol, your wild, and a multiplier on the end up to 50x, that's where it gets exciting. I've been playing this again in demo for quite a while. I should really do some work rather than just playing game demos, but playing this one in demo for a while, you get the win and you're just watching that multiplier go around that end reel, hoping that a big one's going to land in. And you know what? Sometimes it does. RTP on this one of 96.7, and the feature hit rate here is 1 in 188 spins. Rainbow Riches Race Day. The inspiration for this actually came from one of my trips to the seaside with my little girl. We were in an arcade playing a game called Rainbow Riches Racing, and from there was born Rainbow Riches Race Day. You can see from the UK side, this has got all the elements of a Rainbow Riches game that we know work, that we know Rainbow Riches players appeal to them. We know that this is something that they will really be able to get their teeth into. Launching just before two big race meetings, Cheltenham and Aintree, gives our operators the best chance of making a success of what is a really strong game. You can see on the reels here, you've got the top element, which is almost like a donkey derby type feel. For those who know and love seaside resorts like myself, spent far too much money throwing balls up a little ramp to try and win a teddy bear that no one really wants. But it's great fun, and you see that in the slot here. That's the element of the base game that really keeps our players engaged. There's the old school look and feel, but there's also new elements of this. It's a 4,096 ways to win with a cascading element. So when you're playing it, it's strange because it's not a Megaways game, however it has that feel. There's plenty of ways to win, the reels cascade, and the free spin symbols pop in quite regularly to build anticipation. As you play in the base game, you collect horses on the reels, and each coloured horse you get will progress the horse along the top. to the winning post, and the winning post at the end will give you a cash prize, depending on what the player's stake has been. Free spins are awarded after 4 scatters, and when you're in the free spins, there's a real point here of player interaction, which is really important to us. The player can, at the point of entering free spins, decide where they put the money. In essence, backing a horse, they can go all in on the red horse, they can spread bet across different horses, they can go all in on 2 or 3, and really what they're doing there is choosing their volatility. If they go all in on one horse, they're playing to the maximum level of volatility. When they're in the free spins, the spins play out as they do in the base game. However, when you are watching the horses, obviously then you've set your pot value, so you're just waiting for your coloured horse to come in the reels, and hopefully your horse wins the race. Great anticipation, great game, absolutely fantastic, again, execution and building on what we know is popular with our evergreen Rainbow Riches base. The feature hit rate for the race is 1 in 70 for the Donkey Derby style race in the base game. And for the free spins, we have a hit rate of around 1 in 175. Next up, we have our first Mega Drop game of the year. This is a strong title of ours that, again, has been around internally for a little while, and it's had a few iterations now until we've got to the point where we are really happy with it. The thing to remember with this one is we have the Mega Drop version, we also have a non-Mega Drop version. So depending on if you have Mega Drop capabilities already on the site or not, there's no reason why you can't take this game and offer it out to players. The whole theme around the game is this tug of war mechanic and the playful element of that. And you can see from the graphics on the screen, we really wanted to not keep this too heavy. It's supposed to be a fun game to play. It's supposed to be the entertainment factor in this game is really what gives it the edge. And again, something I think we've been a bit light on in the past, and we really wanted to lighten the mood a little bit with this one. So in essence, each spin generates a score, and if your score is higher 3 times in a row, then you upgrade a symbol, and that's the way that the pairs increase and players can attract higher wins. There also is a free spins round in this, which if you collect 3 of the sword icons, gives you 11 spins on an upgraded reel set with 50 lines. So again, very simple. Once you've played the game for 5 or 10 spins, you understand what's going on, you see it, you feel it, the entertainment value is high. Layer into that the Mega Drop element, which again really plays into this whole ethos of this game. I think we've got a real winner on our hands with Real Clash. Our first Monopoly game of next year is one that I think just stands out a mile, and stands out a mile not just on our roadmap, but would stand out on anyone's roadmap. Monopoly Utility Trails is a fantastic execution of a well-loved brand, but showing real true innovation in our gameplay. We know cluster pairs mechanics have got legs in all of our key markets. We know that in some markets they're emerging, in some markets they're just coming to the floor, and then in other markets they've been around a long time and are proving ever popular with players. We think with this one we've hit something new with cluster pairs. It's not just cluster pairs, it's more than that. There's so many features going off on this game that the player from one spin to the next really doesn't know where to look. There's a waterworks feature that can trigger by getting the waterworks symbols, 15 waterworks symbols combined, powering up that waterworks meter. That pays a spin streak, which can really kick off if the player can maintain the streak. The symbols can upgrade and give players some really meaty wins. Similarly with the electricity company. The electricity company bonus is triggered in the same way. Collecting the light bulbs on the reels, 15, triggers the free spins. And this triggers a lightning link style, what you see is what you get type bonus round. Again, when we're looking at our competitor analysis, we know that we were potentially on the digital side a little light in this area, and probably not as innovative as we could have been. We are now, and we're really pushing not what other people have done, but taking our own ideas and really going ahead and executing to a high level. The lightning link round in the electricity company is so exciting. You will know, having played other games, that you have 3 lives in this round, so you have to keep hitting. If you miss, 3 times, you're out. If you keep hitting, then that will reset back to 3. There's things in there, the hotels, the houses will increase the pairs. Linked coloured blocks will again increase the pairs of the properties that you've accumulated. Again, just great, fast-paced lightning link round that really engages players. We have a community chest bonus in the base game that can award cash prizes, and one of the nice little features that will crop up as a surprise to players is something we call wild rails. If you get 2 wilds that are parallel to each other on the reels, whether it's vertical or horizontal, they will create a rail link, and the train will drive across and create a big chain of wilds. Now you imagine you've got 4 all lined up parallel. Not only do they link parallel and vertical, they link everything in between. And that can trigger huge wins. You have a huge block wild symbol then. Potentially, there's the potential there, if you get the wilds in each of the 4 corners, to get a full wild stack across all reels, which is jackpot. Next up, we've got a game called Perfect Potions Megaways, our first Megaways game of the year. And again, when we look at Megaways, we look to be innovative, not lazy. And Megaways still has such a pull for our players. We know that, and we know that in every market where Megaways goes, in every market where Megaways has been, it continues to perform well. Perfect Potions builds on the Megaways mechanic really nicely, neatly, and it's not in the face of the player. The other thing, the key thing to note, I suppose, on this game is that we're building on our Merlin brand. So for those of you who have taken or have seen some of our older next-gen Merlin games, we're bringing Merlin the Wizard into 2021, and we're giving him a bit of Megaways treatment. So the potions in this game cascade through the reels. They offer modifiers that can be either expanding reel sets, expanding wilds, and when you actually trigger the free spins, those expansions are persistent, and the wilds can also then give multipliers. Each potion offers something different. So red potions are the expanding wilds, the blue potions is the expanding reels, and the players will start to know the value of these potions, which is really key, and they'll start to look for the coloured potions dropping. We will have a bypass feature on this game for the markets that can take it, which again is a great addition to any Megaways game. And the feature hit rate in this one is out there a little bit at 1 in 220, but that shows the volatility in the free spins with the persistence of the wilds and the multipliers. So Perfect Potions, again, first Megaways game of the year, really looking forward to it. Our first Jackpot Wars game of 2021 is a game called Secret of Troy. Again, a game that has been long in the making, but for the right reasons. When we put games out onto our big products like Mega Drop and Jackpot Wars, we want to make sure that we're getting the content right, and this has been one that we've taken quite a lot of time over. Very, very simple in the base game, and I think is key to our Jackpot Wars offering. We don't want anything too complex as a base game with Jackpot Wars laid over the top. We want players to be able to engage with not just the game, but the Jackpot Wars element. Therefore, having a game that detracts their attention too much really doesn't let them enjoy the whole Jackpot Wars piece, which is key to content like this. In essence, the deal with the game is you collect 12 golden horses throughout your spins in the base game to trigger the free spins. And in the free spins, again, we're all about wilds. So the more wilds in the free spins, the better. The wilds that you do get in free spins lock into place. And there's a real element of suspense there as you get in towards the end of your free spins. The wilds can really mount up, and again, giving some great wins and some great potential in there. There is also a unique little feature in here where there's an option to cash out your golden horses. So, say a player has 5 or 6 golden horses. There's a cash out meter at the top of the reel, so they can actually cash out their progress to date, whether it's because they want the funds to go to put back into the game and try and get there quicker, or whether it's because they want to, the strategy is that they feel like that's taking too long. I'm going to go again, I'm going to start again, and I'm going to reinvest that money because I think I can get back to the top of that trail. Again, giving the player the ability to really influence their own game style, influence the content that they're playing is key. And again, that element really plays nicely with Jackpot Wars over the top. A game we are really looking forward to in 2021 is Marvelous Mouse Coin Combo. Again, bit of a mouthful. Coin Combo is the name of the mechanic, is the name of the series. You will likely see another Coin Combo coming up in H2 next year. This is our first foray into Coin Combo. It's new, it's exciting, it's not yet live on the land-based side of the business, which is good for me because we are there, we're on par, we're working with our land-based partners to create content that we think is going to span land-based world and the digital world. There's a build here on the 88 Fortunes DNA, a strong build, but there's also enhancements. There's enhancements that we haven't seen in our Oriental games so far. There are still, though, some constants. So the ball, the filling of the ball, as we know from 88 Fortunes, ever popular, the filling of that ball triggers the jackpot pick, and it triggers free games. Mini stacks of symbols in the base game and the free games really can build up that anticipation of bigger wins. When you see the stacks coming past, that's not just for sure, those stacks do land, and we've seen, having looked at the game and gone over the math profile with people internally, there is a real potential of those stacks landing in and getting almost full screens of symbols, and in some cases those top symbols. So again, from a player's point of view, it's not just for sure, those stacks of symbols really can pay. When you hit the free spins here, we've got expanding reels in the free spins game. There's 5 different variances of those expansions that the players can enjoy. Also, there's an upgrade, which is a new feature that's in here, the upgrade in the jackpot pick. So once a jackpot is won, the jackpot pick can allow that jackpot to move up a level and can also double the top award. So when a player wins what they think might be the bottom tier progressive, the jackpot pick can actually upgrade that for them, which again is something that just a slight tweak and a slight addition to what they're used to, but a very welcome one, because when they're used to playing these games in the past, they would have very often seen two of the same colours come up, maybe 2 or 3 times, and then there's the anticipation of hitting the button and seeing which one I'm actually going to win. It's the bottom one, oh well. In this case, maybe not oh well, because you get the jackpot pick and you can go up and win the next level up. So a really nice little boost there for the players. RTP of just over 96.2 and a feature hit rate in this one of just under 1 in 97 spins. So players are seeing a lot of action in this game. We have next another mouthful, Dr. Brainiac's Free Spins Frenzy. So again, this is going to the element of being bold. I think one of our core strategies for this year when we're looking at content is that boldness, being bold, doing something different. Even the name is something that I didn't think, going back a year or so, I don't think you would have ever seen on an SG roadmap, Dr. Brainiac's Free Spins Frenzy. But it's great and it works, and the front end of this game really brings it to life. We've got 5 different free spin bonus rounds on the game, and the bonus games are triggered by filling the test tubes that you can see there on the reels. The key thing about this is the bonus hit rate is very low. It's something like 1 in 40, so you're seeing bonuses a lot. The key part of the game is the fact that once you're in a bonus, you can then trigger a next bonus, so that the idea of bonus linking, so hitting it with 1, filling up the next tube, going on to the next bonus and the next one and the next one, and you can really get those links building up. So once you hit into free spins, you can, as a player, you get the anticipation of not just winning, but the anticipation of hitting the next bonus. What's next? Can I achieve another bonus here? And then that just carries on and carries on. And that idea of bonus linking is something that was really keen to push in a game, and this game again fits the bill really nicely. Looks great on device, more of a vertical reel set than we're used to, but again works really well on desktop, optimized for mobile play, which I know is ever more important for our customers and our players. Our second table game next year is Blazing Sevens Roulette. This is again when we look at our table game offering and what we've got in our back catalogue, we've got a bit of an embarrassment of riches with the Shufflemaster brand that we have, so powerful, and just the backlog of content there is endless sometimes when you start looking at these games. And when we were sifting through where we wanted to go next year and having a look at where the real opportunities were on digital, this one stands out a mile. There's a Blazing Sevens blackjack variant that we're also looking at, but roulette really has some power. You know, we look at table games a lot at SG, and I think the way that the table game market moves is baby steps. Okay, you can't rush a table game player from the game that they know and love suddenly to go and play another variant. But there is still market out there for players who want that standard feel, but they want something a little bit more. Whether it's a progressive jackpot or whether it's what we've got here, which is a really nifty little side bet. Free, once you play the game, there's the 00 version of roulette. Once you hit a 7, if you have the Blazing 7 side bet activated, if you hit a multiple of 7, 14 or 17 is in there, 21, 27, any of those numbers will trigger the side bet. When the side bet is triggered, free balls are released around the reels, and again, if they hit any of those 7 related numbers, then there's a payout attached to that. And the more of those numbers they hit, the higher the payout. So again, very simple, nothing fancy, but just a real nice bolt-on to your original roulette game. This game was the one that stood out on our own stand to me. I spent a lot of time at ICE playing the land-based version of games that I think have got legs coming onto digital, and this was the one that, along with a couple of others, stood out a mile. Is that because it was on the big glitzy cabinet and I was immersed at ICE and at G2E around other sort of machines? I don't think so. I've spent a lot of time sort of researching this game and spoken to my counterparts on the gaming side to see what makes this game really what it is. Ultra Blazing Megalink, new mechanic to come online, works particularly well offline with our offline players in the US. But we know there's something here. We know that the respin, the Lightning Link style games work particularly well with players, even in UK and Europe, but especially with our friends over in the US and Canada. The filing respin feature in this game, it is that what you see is what you get type jackpot award. You need 4 fireballs to trigger it, and the more fireballs that you get, then gain respins and unlock more rows. So you have an expanding reel set as well as the what you see is what you get style Lightning Link feature. Has 4 jackpot levels, 4 static jackpot levels, so then there's no progressive elements in here, all static jackpots. And in free spins we have rolls removed, and all of the fireballs that you see in the free spins are instantly awarded. So again, another build, another bit of innovation, building on content and products that we know really will hit the mark. RTP here 96.6, and the feature hit rate actually don't have at the moment, but we will be somewhere around, I think, the 1 in 20, 1 in 130 mark. Coming up in Q2, Invaders Megawiz. Some of you, the eagle-eyed ones among you, or the purists who remember Invaders from the planet Moolah, will probably see some inspiration here in Invaders Megaways. The brand we have of Invaders from the planet Moolah really does hit home in the US. Not so much in UK, Europe, but it really has a home in the US and Canada. There's something about the brand that I see, even whatever market we put it in, I think can really fly. And we've bolted it onto a Megaways game here that has got not just 1 or 2 pieces of innovation. In my eyes, there's 3 or 4 bits of innovation going on here when it comes to Megaways that will really appeal, especially, in my opinion, to our friends in Europe. I think this game will really hit the mark there. It's a Megaways game in its core, but it has some really clever wild modifiers. So the UFO above the reels will select a symbol on every spin, and whichever symbol it selects, that symbol will turn to a wild in the base game. And when you're in the free spins, it adds a modifier. So each of those symbols has a different modifier attached to it in the free spins. That's exciting, that's great. You're looking for your favorite symbol, whether it's expanding wilds, increasing Megaways, whatever the feature is, you know the one you want to hit, and you're just hoping that little UFO lands where you want it to land. 4 scatters trigger the feature, which again, known, loved, understood. So they're the core elements, as well as true innovation, a fantastic looking front end, and a game that's really smooth to play, looks great, plays great. The math is coming together nicely, a very strong math model behind this one as well. It's a game that will appeal and work in all of our key markets. Another game that we have seen unprecedented success with in the US on our land-based side. This game, I'm told, and I see the press releases every week about this game from the side on the US. Really does fly in the US, and it's dominating. It's top of every chart. It's top of every player's wish list to play. When there could be people in casinos, and when you could have a queue, people were queuing up to play this game. Dancing Drums Explosion is that game. We saw some success with Dancing Drums, the original, when we launched it. However, I think this game just takes it to that next level, which from a digital perspective was actually very needed. Big thing here, in the free spins is a volatility pick. The player has the ability to pick between more spins or bigger reels. Whichever side they go down changes the level of volatility in the bonus. Do they want guaranteed wins, or do they want that chance to actually win big and go the whole way with a game like this? Gold drums in triggering combinations enhances the free games. We have golden wilds triggering the jackpots and then enhancing that jackpot pick. We've got 5 levels of jackpots. Again, static jackpots in here, no progressive elements to them, but that headline jackpot number for the player, always great to see, and actually attainable jackpot values, which is something that we are again keen to stress with our content for next year. Real nice little feature is this: when you hit the free games, no matter if you went the volatile route or the non-volatile route or somewhere in between, you get a jackpot pick at the end of every free game session. So again, when the players coming out of free games, they've done well, they've had a good experience in there, they've enjoyed it, they've got a decent sized win, and hey, they get a jackpot pick as well. So that little cherry on top of the cake with this game really takes it to the next level. RTP of 96% and a feature hit rate here of 1 in 107 spins. We are blessed at SG Digital with having such a wide and diverse mix in our OpenGaming roadmap. Truly blessed with how we look to bring on content from different providers and how we offer that out to our customers at scale to meet all of our marketing needs. What we do focus on is our own content, and our own content is now absolutely where I want it to be. I'm moving ahead at pace. When we look forward to 2021, I have 4 buckets that I want each one of my games to fall into, at least one of these buckets. Whether that's a refined content mix, meaning games from our land-based world or games that are from our digital-first world, from our own heads, land-based slots, digital slots, land-based table games, e-instant games, all these games coming together to fit our markets. We're being bold, we're being innovative, we're pushing the boundaries of what we know works and what we think our players want to see and what we know our players are going to engage with. We have industry hits that we cannot ignore and we don't want to ignore: Megaways, Infinity Reels, Cluster Pays games, Mega Drops and Jackpot Wars. All these things are key to our roadmap for 2021. Not just rolling them out, but making them bigger, making them better, making them stand out in a very crowded space. Lastly, maximising world-class IP, and it truly is world-class IP. Whether we're talking about our external brands via Warner Brothers or Hasbro, Monopoly being the big one, or internal brands such as Rainbow Riches. Making the most of these brands for our customers, for our players, bringing them to life, and actually building content that makes these games and makes these brands truly what they are to players: fun, entertaining. All this combined has produced an absolute stellar roadmap for 2021, something that I'm hoping you can see coming through in our content, and ultimately that our players will engage with and enjoy playing.